Hello, hello, hello. So welcome back to Life Release. Today I wanted to share a couple of recipes or ingredients with you on how to deal with nausea or upset stomach. I know if you're really sick or going through treatment, it really takes a toll on your stomach, and the illness itself really takes a toll on your digestive system, and nausea, vomiting, and all of that really wreak havoc on somebody and just makes everything just so much more difficult, almost as unbearable as dealing with pain. It could really handicap somebody. So today I just wanted to share some recipes and, like I said, some ingredients that could be helpful for you. And I'm going to be showing you a soup recipe. I know sometimes also it's difficult to eat. Soup is probably the best thing because you really don't have to chew a lot, and something warm kind of just warms the body too. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy my recipes, and I hope you can stomach some of the ingredients that I am going to be showing you. Okay, welcome back. So I just got home from the grocery store. I washed all my produce and did all the prep work for the soup. So today I just wanted to share a recipe that you can make, a very easy soup recipe. Low fat, full of veggies, full of antioxidants, and full of ingredients that are helpful for nausea. So today what we have on the menu is a red lentil and pea soup with dandelion green. So I just want to show you the ingredients, and this is the way that I've been making it for a while, and it is very customized to my liking, and I think it is very delicious. But please feel free to omit or add anything. With any soup recipe, you know, it's very malleable, and you can make it suit your taste and your needs. So, okay guys, so here are my ingredients. I have a little carrot. These are 2 carrots chopped, as well as some red bell pepper. The brighter color of a vegetable, the more antioxidants it has. And I just love putting in colorful vegetables into soups because it just brightens it up. Over here I have 1 small chopped potato. And the reason I like to add potato is because it adds a little extra creamy texture to the soup. Once it cooks, part of it sort of dissolves into the soup, and it just creates this nice, silky, hearty consistency without adding any butter or cream or any of that. And here I have 2 ribs of celery chopped, and I have a little thyme leaf. I love using fresh herbs for soups because it just adds a nice brightness to it. And 2 ingredients that you can very much omit, because I know that when you do have a sensitive stomach, it may be kind of difficult to smell or even taste onions and garlic. But here I have half of a brown onion chopped, as well as 1 clove of garlic chopped. But please feel free to omit the onions and garlic, because I said that it can be very strong and pungent. So these are my vegetables that I chopped up. And then this is the dandelion green that I'm going to be adding towards the end. I don't want to put it in too soon because I don't want to just cook out all the nutrients quickly. So maybe about 10 minutes before the soup is done, before the vegetables soften, I will be chopping this up and then adding it to the soup. And then other herbs that I like to add is cilantro and parsley. These are my go-to herbs for any kind of a dish that I'm making. I know cilantro could be something a little bit too pungent for some palates, but please feel free to omit it. I just like adding these herbs because they are high in antioxidants and really can help eliminate free radicals in our bloodstream, as well as the dandelion greens. This is very, very good for digestion, for liver functions. Fantastic, and they're just fantastic for flavor too. So really, on to what is the meat and potatoes of the dish. Is I have half a cup of split peas right here, and make sure that you sift through them, because sometimes, depending on where you get your legumes, they may have debris or stones in them. And then on this side, I have some red lentils. And red lentils, as well as the split peas, fantastic source of protein. I know when you have an upset stomach, you really don't want to be eating any animal fat, because it might just make your symptoms feel worse. So these are fantastic alternatives to get some good protein while you're eating your soup. You don't have to have just a broth-based soup. Although I do have a lot of soups that I do like to eat that is just specifically broth, and I'll share some of those with you at a different time. But for seasoning, I'm not going to be adding any salt. One of my favorite things that I like to use is this Sprigs Liquid Aminos. It just adds this little umami kick to anything that I'm cooking. And so this is always my go-to. So I always add a little splash, just because it makes it have that cooked all day taste to it. Then another thing I like to use are these vegetable-based bouillon cubes. These are fantastic for soups, stews, any pasta dish that you're making that usually calls for a meat. That is really such a good alternative substitute for those bouillon, for adding meat. These bouillon cubes are. And then when I was at the grocery store, I'm such a ding dong. I meant to pick up fresh turmeric. Turmeric is so good with inflammation and adding a nice color to dishes. And when you're have an upset stomach or anything like that, turmeric really is something that's good for inflammation and just soothing the stomach as well. Okay, so we don't add any oil or fat to this recipe. Everything I'm just going to put into the pot and let it all cook together, except my dandelion green. But all of this right here is going to be going into the pot. Okay, so everything is in the pot, and here I have 4 cups of water. I usually start with 4 cups, depending on how you like your soup. Add more or less. If you like it more to be on like the stewier side, more like a thick stew, add less. If you want it more soupy, add more water. But like I said, I start with 4 cups, and then from there, I just look at it as it's cooking. So this is kind of what it's looking like right now. And I'm going to give it a little zhuzh. Just like that. And look how pretty the colors are. I mean, aren't they beautiful? I added about 1 good squeeze of the Sprigs of Aminos, maybe like 2-3 tablespoons, depending on how salty you like it. And I added 4 cups of water. If you want it more stewy, more thicker consistency, add less as it's cooking. If you want it more soupy, a little bit more runnier, then you add water. Just make sure that you keep an eye on it, because since you are cooking with dry legumes, you know they're going to absorb a lot of water. But we do have a lot of vegetables in here, so they are going to release a lot of water. So now I'm going to put it on about medium heat, and I'm going to bring it up to a boil and then cover it up. Okay, so here it is boiling. So now I'm going to reduce the heat to medium low, because I want to cook this low and slow. And I'm going to put the lid on. And so I'm just gonna let it cook for about 30 minutes, and I'm gonna keep checking it every once in a while to make sure that there's enough water in there and that nothing's sticking to the bottom. But yeah, this is basically as simple as it gets. You just put all the ingredients in and add water and you just let it cook. Okay, so while our soup cooks, I kind of just wanted to go over a little bit more about what we can do if we're having nausea episodes. It's really important to really listen to your body and really know that you know your body more than anybody. And if you don't want to eat, don't eat. But if you are willing to try to have something in your stomach, and if you are going to be drinking water or something, make sure that you're sipping it. Don't just chug it, because that also tends to aggravate feelings of being nauseous. Drinking things like infused water with ginger or cucumber or anything, maybe you just don't have the taste for just plain water. Putting things such as sliced ginger or cucumber or even sliced fruit like strawberries will give a water a nice aroma or fragrance. And even using some essential oils that could be helpful. I know a lot of people think that essential oils are pseudoscience and it's not really beneficial, but I tend to think otherwise. I always have a certain oil around me. This one is a respiratory blend, and it helps me when I'm feeling like I need to open up my airways. It has eucalyptus in it, and you know, eucalyptus is just my favorite fragrance in the world. It takes me back to being at a nice spa, being pampered. Please don't mind that scratching noise. It's just my my dog. Yeah, so ginger, so helpful. Anything with peppermint, fantastic for nausea. Add any sort of vegetable that helps with digestion. I'm using dandelion greens for this recipe. I didn't use kale because kale can be a little bit more on the tougher side, and you're going to be needing to cook it for a longer period of time to get it soft. I believe that the longer you cook food, the more you're cooking out nutrients. So using things that are that when you prepare take the least heat possible, I think is more optimal to receive the most benefit from that food that you're eating. And so I used a combination of a split pea and red lentil because I think both of them together complement each other so much. I feel like split pea could be a little bit grainy sometimes, so I feel like the red lentil kind of just gives it a well-rounded, kind of creamier texture to it. And also that's what the potato is doing also. It's adding like that nice filling texture to the soup. But this is a soup that it is hearty. It really is going to settle in your stomach. That's why I like this soup if you are having digestive problems, because it is it coats your stomach. So if you're taking a lot of medications and if you're just not able to chew very much, this soup is fantastic because it really does coat your stomach. You are your best advocate. You know what's best for you, and if you want to eat, eat. If you don't want to eat, don't eat. There is studies out there that suggest that when you are healing or if you are going through something, that being in a fasted state is the best thing to do, because your body is focusing on whatever ailment that it's trying to fix, and it's not trying to digest all this food in your stomach. So you know you better than anybody, so you just use your own discretion, and that's it. Okay, so I'll see you when the soup is ready and we're ready to eat. Okay, so the soup has been cooking for about 30 minutes. I did have to add in about another 3 cups because I really underestimated how much water I was needing. So this is what the soup is looking like now. The lentils, for the most part, are pretty much cooked. The peas need just about 10-15 more minutes. But this is the stage where I like to add in my dandelion greens. And this will give it just enough time for them to soften up nicely without overcooking them. And that's it. I'm gonna show you if you like a little bit more, if it's still too chunky by the time this is done cooking, I will show you how you can puree it to make it a little bit more of a smoother consistency. Okay, so I'm gonna give it about another 10-15 more minutes and we're gonna taste it. Excited because I'm hungry. So I'm just gonna cover it back up. Okay, so it's almost ready. I just came to check on the seasoning and it needs just a smidge more. So I'm gonna add just one more little glug. That's all it needs, and I think I just splashed it all over myself. So yeah, just one more little glug, and I'm gonna give it a little zhuzh. So a glug and a zhuzh. These are all very chefy words. And as you can see, it's gotten very thick. I'm gonna give it a taste. Official taste test. Let's see. It's fine for me, but I know that others that are going to be eating this probably are going to want a little bit more. You can always add more, but you can't take it away. So I'm going to leave this just as is, but again, season it to taste for you, and depending on how salty or what your dietary requirements are, don't go adding too much salt because then, like I said, you can't take it out. So if you want this a little bit more pureed, as you can see, there are some big chunks. There's still some big chunks of carrot and pepper and celery. And you can see the dandelion greens you can still see them, they haven't totally disintegrated. If you like it a little bit more pureed, you can actually put in an emulsion stick. I don't know what you call them. Stick it in your pot, turn off the heat, plug it in. Obviously I don't have the other handpiece. And then just puree it or emulsify it as your liking, or stick it in the blender. But I like it a little bit chunky. I think it tastes better that way. But again, if you just want something a little bit more smoother, creamier, please feel free to blend it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna plate a little bit up and I will show you how it looks. Okay guys, so here it is, my soup. I topped it off with a little bit of fresh cilantro. I love the taste of fresh cilantro on everything, but please feel free to omit this part. I also squeezed a little bit of lemon juice on top. If you feel like your dish still needs a little extra something, try adding a little bit of lemon juice or lime juice. It really does wonders for brightening up a dish. And it adds just another depth of flavor. Okay, so here is my taste test. Oh, it smells so good. And if you aren't feeling very well and you're watching this because you want tips, or if you're watching this because you want recipes because you're not feeling well, just hang in there. You know, a lot of what we go through, nobody knows really what you're going through except you, and just really just hang in there. You know, times are tough right now, especially, and if you're going through an illness or you're just not feeling well, I think that just makes you feel even worse. So I hope this recipe is helpful, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, and I hope it makes you feel better. So here we go. It's a little hot. Oh, the lemon juice was perfect addition. So I hope you try this out, and I hope you enjoy it. And I will be coming out with more recipes to help with just a better quality food sources that you can have at home, and to let's start relying on ourselves to be our own healers, and we are our best advocates, and we should be more in tune about what our body needs and what our body wants. So again, I hope you enjoy this recipe, and let's go back to the days where we healed ourselves at home with good food, good energy, and just taking it day by day. And again, I will be coming out with some more recipes, but until then, cheers.